Regular meeting of the Nicholas County Board of Education, June 17th, 2024. Please stand for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Please join the board with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any changes to the agenda?
Okay. Yeah, we have on number 7.
Under personnel?
Yes. Actually, there's a couple things we're going to be doing here. 7C, discussion of possible action on the renewal contract for Susie Odell. We're going to pull that. We're going to table that to the next board meeting and act on it that night.
Page 4C.
Yeah, it's
Table.
It's number 7C, but it's on page 4.
Table it.
And on E, we're going to pull discussion of possible action on the renewal contract for the Campbell Valley Medical Center. There's a one little deletion or little adjustment we need to make to those MOUs. The MOUs will be fine, but we do need to address something to do with the utilities with that. Is those the only two?
No.
Well, that's what we're doing too.
D.
Which, what's the other one?
Strike D.
Strike D also, pull it off the agenda on Tracy Hanks.
Okay, so
C, D, and E.
So we're tabling C and but we're striking D.
D and E, but,
Are we striking
yes.
Are we striking E or tabling E?
We're pulling off the agenda, pulling it off.
All right.
So we're tabling.
We're only
D.
tabling C.
E?
Tabling
Tabling
C.
C, striking D and E.
Correct.
Okay, got it wrong.
Yeah. Table C, strike D and strike E.
Yes.
Right? Is that not what you wanted?
Yes, well, I didn't have anything to do with E, so you
Oh.
got my two correct.
Okay.
Are you bringing E back, the MOUs that are coming back?
Maybe
So we're
not the next
tabling-
board meeting, that's fine, I'm tabling it.
Oh,
We're just
okay.
pulling it off, we'll probably put it in later in
Okay,
July.
okay.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right. Thank you. Superintendent's updates. Levine?
Well, the first thing on the agenda talks about Zela Elementary School has been selected as a Tier 1 model school. I'm just going to read you the letter we received from Alicia Zyman, who's the PBIS coordinator. It says, "Dear Superintendent Beam, on a yearly basis, the West Virginia Behavior Mental Health Technical Assistance Center embarks on a mission to find schools that are implementing PBIS with high fidelity and who are having positive outcomes in their climate and culture, behavior data, and other school indicators. The center takes great consideration into naming a West Virginia PBIS Tier 1 model school. The model school projects help us build up new schools, allow us to be partners in the learning process of implementing PBIS, and highlights the work that we do across the state. In January 2024, we started the process to find the best examples of PBIS in the state. This process included the completion of an in-depth application and on-site visit from the West Virginia PBIS leadership team. We are proud to announce that Zela Elementary School has been selected as the 2023-2024 West Virginia Positive Behavior Intervention and Sports Title I Model School. Zela Elementary School, along with Principal James Marsh and his PBIS team, surpassed our standards to be awarded this recognition. The school's commitment to student success, trauma-informed practices, and focus on the whole child are examples of the practices present at Zela ensuring student success. The team's data-driven, problem-solving approach to behavioral needs is a shining example of the Model Schools initiative. In addition to teaching students the lifelong skills needed to be successful academically, behaviorally, and socially, it is said that the staff all have a really big heart for their kids and the community of Zela. The center is so appreciative of Zela's dedication to the PBIS framework. We recognize this can only happen when schools are supported by their counties. Thank you for providing an environment where your schools can thrive. Sincerely, Alicia Ziman, PBIS Coordinator. Now, as far as my updates, I only have two real quick things today. As was mentioned in our meeting with Skanska today, the pre-bid was held for the new Summersville Academic Complex on June the 11th. 5 general contractors and many subcontractors attended this mandatory meeting. ZMM, Chris Campbell, and Dave Ferguson both have told me they were very pleased with the numbers interested and also the quality of the contractors that they're showing interest. We did hear from today that 4 out of the 5 contractors are asking questions about the project, which is always a good sign. Bids are due on June 27th, and hopefully we'll be naming a general contractor at the July 1st meeting with possible construction beginning around July the 22nd. So that's our new initiative for the pre-K-8 school. The other thing is last week or 10 days ago, I don't remember exactly when it was, Ms. Weitzel and I went to, with ZMM over to the CTE Center to do a walkthrough as we are applying for our needs grant for the summer through the SBA. Some of the things that we're considering putting in that project include obviously a new roof, which is the #1 priority, a new HVAC system, electrical upgrades, some additional classrooms, which would include junior ROTC and possibly another classroom, floor tile replacement. They're looking at possibly doing something there. All the water that we've had in that building through the roof has damaged a lot of the tiles, so they're looking at replacing the tiles. And then also we noticed there's a lot of brick coming off the building. It's coming off in pieces. It's not the whole brick, it's the outer part of the brick. It's just on one side of the building where the weather's hitting, it's just taking it off and it looks terrible. So those are the things. Kelly, was there anything else that I missed?
LED lighting.
LED lighting.
And maybe a sprinkler system with the HVAC.
Right, so it's going to be,
Doors, we also looked at exterior doors and windows.
right, and it's going to be an expensive project. I don't want to put a price on it until they get back with us with a formal presentation, but it's in the millions that we're going to be asking the SBA to provide for us. So those are the two things I wanted to bring up tonight, and that's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Ms. Campbell, is there any delegations?
No, sir.
Thank you. So number 6, presentation discussion, Mr. Stump, field lighting update.
I'll be quick today. We do have some good news on this.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks. So we are still waiting on a quote to do a total replacement for the LED. Just waiting on the quote so we can submit something to insurance. I should have that within the next 48 hours, is what I was told. As far as currently though, Fayette County is going through a remodel of both of their high school fields. They have been generous enough to donate some of their old lights that are currently being taken down right now. As soon as they have those lights down and in a place where we can come get them, we're going to go get those. We've ordered a new wooden pole to go back up in place of the one that was snapped in half. And so once we get the lights, we get the pole, we'll get the lights on the pole, and then we have a company here locally that's willing to come in and set the pole for us. And so we're just waiting on all of those pieces to come together, and hopefully we'll have that pole back up and ready to go in no time. So it's just kind of waiting on all of that to come together and come into place, and we'll be good to go hopefully by August. So that's all I have.
Thank you. At the memorial.
Oh, one of them, yeah.
Yeah. Action items, discussion with possible action on putting the following updated policies out for comment.
You have to read this.
Good. So we have policies 1 through 101. Do we have a motion to put those out? You all want to vote on these separate? I'm joking. No, okay, how about discussion on B, discussion with possible action on the renewal MOU with Concord University for clinical students, field placement, and student teachers and resident teachers. That MOU's in your packet.
That's the same as we've had with them also before, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Any discussion on that? It's the same policy we've had in place.
Okay, I don't see it, but yeah, same, okay, no problem.
Okay, C was tabled, D and E have been removed. So let's go to F, discussion with possible action on the approval of the extracurricular policy.
That was just what we had.
Which policy is it?
That's one we had pulled out to read.
No, this was the one that we had out for comment.
Yeah, the
So,
one sheet, the one we talked about a while ago
Right, yeah.
that's, yeah, that's going out for public comment. The one that we're looking at was out for public comment.
yes.
Where is it?
It should have been in the packet again. It was the coaches' pay policy. Is the extracurricular policy.
Yeah, I just didn't see it. We just don't see the policy.
Okay. Kim, did you put it in your
I
packet?
thought it was put in there.
It could be in one of these.
There were so many in there. But it's the same policy that's been out for 30 days on comment, and there were no comments on it.
And that's basically all the discussions on bringing them up to the
Yes.
max, right?
Yes. And adding a soccer, the additional soccer. And I had forgot to put coach golf on there, and golf was added to the, as we had spoke about.
Yeah, it's not on there.
I don't see it either.
So it's the same policy that we voted on to put out for public comment, and there were no comments made, so any discussion on that?
Do you want a copy of it? I'm going to make you a copy. I have it marked off, but I'll put it in there, but I know marked it before scanning it.
Okay, G, discussion with possible action on approval of the board compensation policy.
Now, is that being out for public comment?
It has been, yes. And no comments.
There's been a lot of email traffic on that. Are we still comfortable that we can do what we're,
I would think that in order to be totally comfortable, I would ask that you and Mr. Moose recuse yourself from the vote. Or if you vote as is stated, then there might be some questions with the ethics.
I was just having a problem, I was telling Mr. Bruce earlier, with all the different changes that the state board, or our state board association would say. It looked like there was 3 options, and one option you would almost have different. I'm very uncomfortable voting on any increases to the board, especially at this time, to stay consistent with what I was telling our CTE people. I'm just very uncomfortable doing that.
Well, if you vote on this policy, there's not, if everybody, my opinion, if everybody votes on this policy, then nobody currently sitting on the board would actually get the pay raise.
So when would it kick in, 28?
It would kick in when new people would come on board. And then the policy as it's written would never have to be voted on again by any future board because there's not a price in there. It just says
Set
state required.
But if we voted on that and we recused ourselves, and we're gonna be new board members July 1,
That's
would
all.
that not kick us into the fact that we would get the raise? We don't want that.
Right, but that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. The only way that anybody could get a raise is if you two recused yourself, the other three voted on it.
But I thought you were recommending we recuse ourselves.
No.
Okay.
But if everybody votes on it, then everybody stays the same, and then as new board members come on, that's when that would take effect.
What if we don't vote on it?
What if you what?
What if we don't vote on it? We just table it for a future discussion?
Well, the problem with that really is, there are other aspects of that policy that go into effect July 1. The number of meetings that you can have, so the policy doesn't just address pay, and it doesn't give an amount to be paid, but if you vote on it, if the current board members vote on it, then you would stay at the current rate of pay that you're getting, because
Well, I'm just curious, what would happen, because like I said, I've read those 2 or 3 times, it keeps coming down, and they keep changing their mind, but what would happen, we vote on this? There's an election coming up in a couple of years, I would take it, because our terms are separate.
Right, yes.
So when they became new members, would they be under the policy and receive the pay, and you would have differences in
Yes.
pay at that time?
Yes.
I'm not sure that's good either. I mean, I'm not against it, I just don't know that that's
I don't
good.
understand the state giving you a pay raise and then you have to vote on it whether you want it or not.
Well, it's how our policy was written, because it had a set amount in it. That's why the policy that you're voting on does not have a set amount. It just says the state minimum pay for board members.
I think it's actually the state maximum.
State
right?
maximum.
So it's just saying whatever the state ever says is the maximum amount the board members can be paid, that's what we're gonna pay.
And when will they get
Up
paid?
to, it says up to.
Start July 1.
It says up to the maximum minimum policy.
But we don't,
I can say I don't think they've had a pay raise for 20 years or more. So I don't
The
know
way
why
I-
we'd have to vote on that.
The way I read it was that if we can approve it, but Rick, Phil, and myself would not be eligible because we're not new board members, but technically, Steve and Roy would get it because they're,
Not if they vote on it, because technically they're voting on a raise for themselves, which is where the Ethics Commission said you can't, public servants can't vote.
well, they're voting on it for the next cycle of board members, although they are going to be those board members. Won't y'all just recuse yourselves?
Yeah, I don't understand. Other state employees don't vote on their, whether they get a raise or not. I don't understand this.
It's not really, it's saying this is what your raise is gonna be, it's allowing the board to pay members up to a certain amount of money. So they've just increased the
The max.
maximum.
Okay, it's not their
amount.
funding, it's the board funding.
Right.
And for the record, you got me on? Board members get paid $160 per meeting. We're,
percent, and
Getting
it's
rid.
capped
And
at
you
so
don't have
many
an officer
meetings.
either.
you what?
You don't have an officer either.
Yeah, I know. We don't have offices here, and anyway,
Well, it's capped at so many meetings also.
right. So, personally, I don't have a problem with you all making the new amount. And us not, but maybe I'm the only one that feels that way.
Well, I just don't want to vote, I just don't want to vote myself a raise, when we're in the middle of construction, and we're in the middle of these other things, I just don't want to do
I don't
it.
either.
So whatever I got to do not to vote for that, you tell me what to do.
We vote. We vote. We vote.
I mean, I do, yeah, so if we vote, I'm fine with that. And you're saying if we vote, we will not get,
Okay.
and when will it come in?
The
For,
next-
for,
The next
The
election.
next election,
and so the next election, you'll have 3 board members, whoever they are, getting the max, and you'll still have 2 board members who are serving out their terms, if they serve out their terms, receiving the lesser amount. Just so I understand.
it could be that way, yes. But again, you know, the policy is up to the maximum amount. And there's not an amount listed in the policy. So that way that this issue doesn't happen again if they would go back and revisit it at the state level.
That's why we do.
So I'm just curious what Fayette County did. Have you all addressed this yet?
Fayette County did what she's talking about, no number. They just made a vote and no number. And then you might also, those of you who went to did you attend the event in Beckley with the lawyers?
No.
That was, those are things not to miss if you can stay awake. But he covered that, and there will be the first person who brings up an issue with it, it'll all.
So we're voting for the max that
You're
can
voting
be
for
paid,
the
but you're
max
not
with
voting,
with
you're
no
not
amount.
setting the pay.
That's exactly what we did.
Did
'Cause
all
I'm
y'all
com-
vote?
Yes, because I'm coming on as a existing member,
Okay.
but I start again July 1st, then we have a new person. So we were under the same dilemma. You've got a new person coming on who's going to make more money than the people that have been on there
Yeah.
5, 6, 8 years, which we also didn't think was fair. The other thing is, I don't have it in my brain because it is so complicated, but I think they decreased the number of meetings, so you
They
really
did,
don't,
yes, they
in the
did.
long run, you don't make more, right?
That's
In
Make it
theory,
fast.
you can have 50 meetings, then you can only have 40,
correct.
and so,
Cindy,
I don't
did
know
all
why the
your-
legislatures get involved in
Did all your
land.
members vote on this? Did
Yes, we all voted on it,
Okay.
yes.
So Mr.
Because,
Moose and I vote, even if then later there's a vote to raise up to the maximum, because
Right.
you'd have to have that vote.
yeah, but
That's
it,
what this vote is.
We would, no, this vote is to raise it to the maximum.
right,
Oh, it is to raise to the maximum, so
Yeah.
it is a number.
yes.
You're-
the max-
you're talking
and
about
then
the
you don't
number
put a
of
number
But
in
since
there
you're voting, you
Right.
wouldn't get it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that part of it.
Until
but
the
I was
legislature changes
misunderstood.
it again, maybe before you get on your July 1st. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but
No.
that
Oh, I
might
know. I see
exactly
what you're saying.
happen. Why they get into the minutia of that kind of thing when so much is going on in this state education system, I don't know. But we voted a motion that was generic, no amount, just to go with whatever
Well, when
the
you
state
say no
tells us.
amount though, you're saying,
No money amount in the,
well, there is a money amount, because we're bringing it up to the maximum. The
Right,
maximum's
but-
$260.
the maximum by state law or whatever the state.
Okay.
So that wording is in there.
Turn the air down.
They say raise it to 280, or drop it to 250, you're still at the maximum.
Yeah.
So you have to
Yeah, you're not
change
gonna
it.
make any more
Okay.
money because they took 10 meetings away.
All right, I'm fine, as long as, when I make that vote, it is excluding my position until the next cycle, which will be in 28 or something.
Well, you're already talking about running, huh?
I'm very fine with voting for it.
Hey, I'm running again.
All right.
Your
Phil is.
future's at
I'm on
stake
term
there.
limits, I'm on term limits, and God's gonna figure out that term, I guess.
Well,
Okay.
Clear as mud.
If there's,
We're gonna vote.
Do I need to include all of that in?
As reported on.
No, I made a political statement. We're not allowed to include that.
Yeah.
okay, if there's no other discussion, do we have a motion to accept action item A, which includes putting all the policies out from 1 to 101? Action item B, the discussion, or the action on the renewal MOU with Concord University. Action item F, discussion with possible action on approval of the extracurricular policy, which is the coach's pay. And action item G, approval of the board compensation policy. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion.
Mr. Green makes a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Berry. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Consent items, finance.
Okay, we got a lot of stuff. First of which is payment of current invoices.
Did I turn that one? Flip it around. It's on the bottom.
Wait a minute, let me sort that out here,
Hello?
if I can find
It's towards the bottom.
the bottom.
If they want you to have a raise, they'll give you a raise instead of going through all that. No joke.
I agree with you.
I mean, that's just plain putting pressure on you.
No, wrong one. What are we gonna do first?
Payment of current invoices. And all of those should be in your packet.
Yeah. I found it, okay.
Payment of current invoices.
Yes. Are we, are our pay applications, I missed the call today, are our pay applications, are we behind on any?
No.
Everything they've turned in, we've,
Well, we're waiting on reimbursement and a couple of, really that should come in any day. There's 2 ZMM invoices, an SQP, and an M&H, all that we're waiting on. So those will all go out. I mean, we're holding them right now, but as soon as we get the cash from Oasis, then we'll release those. But yeah, they're flowing smoothly.
Page 4,
Mhm.
3, 4, 6, 4, 5. Is that correct, the correct amount for a month?
I'll have to look and compare that to other months, but
Does it run that much? That high?
which one is that, Mr. Moody?
Garbage, nickel sanitation.
Liquor sanitation.
It's 11,000. The question is that a monthly, is that what you usually run? Or is that two?
I'll have to look and see
That's
what
pretty close to that, though.
that is.
I've seen it several times.
Yeah, I do know we did have some extra runs that took place in that last month. People were cleaning classrooms. There were a couple, I mean, not a lot, but there were a couple extra runs we had to call and have them come out and off schedule.
But yeah, I'll look that up and tell you how much it usually runs.
That's okay. That answers my question, thank you.
Are they still doing any of the recycling or?
No, we haven't been doing that. Honestly, it was, cost-wise,
Costing as much.
it had turned into more of a cost on us than anything. We weren't getting anything out of it. I think when they started that, there was a savings program in place, and we got money back when we first started that program. But over the years, by the time I know I'd started, we weren't getting any kind of money back. The only place we were even saving was on that dumpster bill, because we were basically collecting it and hauling it off ourselves.
Well, and it kind of switched over when they started hauling Nicholas County's trash to Raleigh County.
Well, and that's what they do with that cardboard.
Right.
We basically had to drive it down, put it in the dumpster, and then they would take it to Raleigh County, but we got nothing out of it, really at all. financially anyway.
How about those little buildings they stored stuff in? Should we not put some of those in
Some
surplus auction?
of those probably will be. Some of those have started kind of falling down. The wind took out a couple. And the bottoms of almost all of those have rotted out. So some of those will go to the landfill. The ones that are salvageable, we can auction.
Well, the reason I had a question was because it says the VOTEC services for May was $150, and that seemed like that might be excessive.
Now, is the VOTEC trash run, I don't know why that's separate than our other, do you know why? Is that because
I'm
it's?
not sure
Okay.
why the accounts are set up the way they are, but VOTEC may have been one that had to do an extra. I think they had to do an extra run.
Yeah, and speaking of auction, we are planning on having our auction in August on the 7th. And so before that time, we'll have to bring everything to you guys to approve that's going to be surplus that we're going to want to sell at the auction. August 7th. August 7th should be. Any other questions about invoices?
I was asked this today, and I know the reason, but I want Dr. Lee to explain publicly for the 100th time. On here it says, and I am on page 10. Let's see, where was it? No, it's not on this page, is it? I'm getting ahead of myself. Never mind. So, go ahead.
Okay, if you don't have any other questions about invoices, we can move on to May and June supplements and transfers. And now that one, I gave you one extra page that wasn't in your packet. June supplements are tricky because we're not allowed to supplement anything else in June unless it can be board approved. So when we have June 17th as our last board meeting of the year, then we can't do any more supplements by then. So we kind of just hurried and got everything that we could in for this meeting. So if we have other grant awards and things that come in the rest of this year, we're not going to be able to supplement them into the budget until next fiscal year, because you guys wouldn't have a chance to approve them since we have no more June meetings. So anyway, that's why that page is separate. So if there's anything in here you have questions about.
Andy asked me to wait.
All right, are you on contracts now? Or are you still on supplements?
I'm on supplements and transfers, but if you don't have any questions, we can move on to contracts. Okay, so several contracts. First being Health Special Risk, so HSR, which is our voluntary student insurance. We do that because the kids have to have insurance, proof of insurance in order to be able to play their sports. And so for people who opt to do that, they can get insurance through us. It's no cost to the county. The family pays for their insurance, but that's about the only company that we can find who provides that service. So it's the same company that we went with last year and for years prior, to be able to offer that to families who need insurance. The next two are lease agreements for property for the RHS band to practice. And those are the same agreements with the same entities that we have had in years past.
Can we afford those? $1 a piece. You
Yeah.
should know, those people only charge us $1 a piece. And I think we should compliment them on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's awesome. Just I'm gonna back up a little bit. What was the Mutual of Omaha insurance that was right behind the special risk insurance?
Oh, that's just the same thing, that all goes together.
Okay.
Those are just, I didn't really have anything for you guys to sign to approve, because I just have to like sign the application to send that in. So that just goes with that, and then that shows you
Okay,
what the fees are. and
so it's same,
what
basically
it is.
the
But
same.
yeah, that all goes
Same
together with
deal,
that same.
pass through to the parents. They want the insurance.
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The next four are more lease agreements with Appalachian Office Products. Actually, I think that those are maintenance agreements for central office and Nicholas County High School. And I think the next item is the one maybe
Yes.
you have a question about.
So I know why, but it was asked me out in public, why, once again, we pay, some of our money goes to New Life Christian Academy. And I explained the best I could, but Dr. Lee, would you hit that again, please?
I would be glad to. As you know, when it comes to federal dollars, with most of the title programs, the money follows the students. So as students leave Nicholas County schools or they enroll in a private school within the county, if that private school chooses to participate in federal programming, then those services follow the child to the school. We no longer just write a check to the school, we provide whatever the services would be. And this contract is for a service which is similar to what I believe to be like our Vector. It's a training program for those teachers. But in order to meet guidelines, of course, it has to be not related to their religion. It has to be focused on instruction.
And our teachers have access to the same, is that correct, and it's paid?
Well, theirs is a different company. We have like Vector Solutions where we do our online training. This is the service that they choose as a private school.
It's kind of, we get the federal dollars, but it has to be spent on behalf of New Life, a certain amount. So they get to choose whatever they want, you know, for their staff, for professional development. They choose the company that they want to use. But we can't just give them their portion of the federal money. We're not allowed to do that. So we have to purchase on their behalf.
We have to track the money.
Right.
And if we gave it to them,
Right. And we're not allowed to reimburse them. If they pay for something, we are not allowed to pay them back. We have to pay directly. And so then the last contract is with NutraSlice, which that is online menus, and we've used them for several years. So you can have an app on your phone and see what your school lunch menu is going to be for the week or for the month, and then also that is on our website, so the public can see what our meals are going to be, upcoming meals are going to be.
how do we pay for that? What's it come out of?
Food service.
Food service?
Okay, and then next, I have some bids. The first of which is our workers' compensation insurance, which our agent is Assured Partners, and so Assured Partners puts this out for bid for us every year. And as you can see on the second page of that, the best price that we are offered is with Encopa. And then Cova is who we have had this prior year also. So we're going to stick with Encova. The next item is with Premier Risk Management, and we've had a contract for this service before, but it was through Assured Partners, and now this year, this person who was working for Assured Partners was actually a contracted person with them, and so now they are just going out and we're going to do a contract with them directly. And this is the person who does our safety committee meetings and helps us look through our workers' comp, any claims that we have, and helps to manage the claims and does return to work policy and things like that. And he also does training for us at the beginning of the year, usually on some safety related items. So that's contract with him. It's slightly more than last year, about $1,000 more than last year, but it's 3 years renewable, so this price will be fixed for the next 2 years if we choose to renew.
But it's a vote item every year.
Right,
Okay.
right. You would have to vote to approve it, but his price is not going to increase if we approve that in the next 2 years. Next is Cardinal Photographics for Mount Lookout for their picture bid, which is the only one that they got. And Nicholas County High School yearbook services with Fox Photographics, and it didn't have many details to it, so I attached her summary from last year just so that you could see what that was.
I'm sorry, I'm behind. This is a 3-year contract with Premier. Are we doing 3 years?
Well, we're just going 1 year, but it's renewable. We can renew it for 2 more years, and
Okay.
he'll keep
At
the
the same price.
Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you.
So, right, next is Cardinal Photography for Mount Lookout pictures, and then Fox Photography for Nicholas County High School yearbook, which is a renewal. And then Sherry Mao asked me to have this bid approved. We're a member of a co-op, Country Roads Food Cooperative, and so then they put out a bid for beef. And so the winning bid was going to Mountain Steer Meat Company. So we just need to approve that as well.
Well, I'm sorry. We're approving Mountain Steer even though they're higher?
No, I don't think.
Oh, no, that must be an evaluation, not a price.
Right, right,
Okay,
that's
gotcha.
their total points.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Okay, so the last item that I have under finance is the May Treasurer's Report. And some of these amounts where we were over budget, some on revenues, you can see some of those journal entries to increase the budget were made in the budget supplements and transfers that were in there for June. For example, we had budgeted low on our interest on our bank accounts, so we made an adjustment to increase that to supplement the budget. And then we supplemented that to salaries and other areas of expense where we had gone over in expense. So we do that at the end of every year when we see that we, if we were short in budgeting revenues, then we work on the budget to balance, to put that extra funding where we're over in expenses. So we did very well on property taxes. and interest, so we adjusted those things. Like I said before, rental, we're not gonna have any building rentals anymore because that was the Metal T building that the Faltus Shelter uses, and we've since given them that building, so we're not gonna have any more rental income in future years for that, anyway. Medicaid billings looks really low. We get an annual settlement at the end of each year, usually around the end of June. So we will be getting some Medicaid money there. We'll actually not be getting as much as was budgeted.
Does the school system receive any of that? They opened that gas line, right? Mountain Valley one. Didn't
I
they?
believe I saw they opened it yesterday.
Yeah, they
Just
opened
a
it.
day or two.
Does the school get any, or do we get any tax money off that passing through our county?
Well, if there is property within our county, like equipment that those companies are using, then we would get a portion of the property taxes that generates.
They're not going to tax the flow through the county though.
I don't know of any money that we would benefit directly from that in other ways other than.
I was
the property taxes.
asked that, that's why I asked.
That's all I have. If y'all have any questions about anything.
I have one question before we call for a vote or whatever. On the contracts and the leases, do we have a lease with, I guess, the city of Summersville on the old main gym? Is it leased? Do you know what that lease economically, what we pay, or
I believe we paid $4,000.
$4,000?
Which is reimbursed by FEMA.
Yes.
And that's reimbursed by FEMA. But my point was, what the Kesslers and the Johnsons are doing is awesome, but I want people to understand even $4,000, if it's reimbursed by FEMA, that the city, I don't know what that floor costs, but it's a couple $100,000. They've really upgraded that facility for the benefit. They could have waited a couple of years and, you know, we would be in our own facilities and they wouldn't have to do that. I think that was very good of the city to do that.
See, Mr. Ferguson, they also put a roof on that. They have done some work, and we have too, but they have made a big contribution, and I think in part it is probably because we're paying rent.
I just wanted to make a comment. So it's $4,000 a year.
Are you saying that we pay rent and do maintenance?
We do very minimal, we clean and we do some upkeep, just kind of housekeeping around, but, yeah.
Alan, you know how much that floor was? I was just curious. It's a couple $100,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a couple $100,000.
$4,000. Well, but again, it's FEMA. I'm sure the city would have worked with it had it not been FEMA.
Oh, I'm sure they would, yeah. Okay, any other questions for Kristen? Okay, do we have a motion to accept consent items under A, Finance, 1, 2, 3, contracts A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, bids A, B, C, D, E, and the treasurer's report?
You have that motion?
Thank you, Mr. Moose. Seconded by? Second by Mr. Green. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, personnel.
Good evening. The personnel is as presented, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
We have principals at Summersville Elementary and Gully River? Do we have Mount Nebo yet?
We'll be naming Mount Nebo and Birch on July 1st.
Okay, so on the job, the behavior specialist, SAP 504 professional development coach testing specialist, contract 210 days. That replaces, what, a couple of people?
Yes, it does. And I have the job postings, if you would like to look at those. That gives a description of all of the responsibilities, and it's pretty extensive. Look at the second page.
No ACT, just SAT.
Well, and that is student assistant team. It's not.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, this is for a teacher, and what, will she be a traveling teacher, or?
Well, it's a specialist, so she's actually going in and she'll be coaching and working with teachers on developing skills. She'll be monitoring the 504s and the SAT student assistant team meetings. Testing will fall under that responsibility.
Testing coordinator, is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, well, the testing, the county testing contact.
She'll have an office here, or?
We'll have a home base here, but we'll be out in the schools the majority of the time.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on personnel? One other thing, how many jobs we have open right now?
Richwood High School is fully staffed. We have about, I would say, 5 positions
Not bad.
that we're currently, teaching positions that we're currently, we have a math at Nicholas County High School. We have a science at Richwood Middle School. We're narrowing it down.
Good.
We're actually very pleased with where we are.
Some of these people that are being replaced, are they retiring, are they moving, or? I know we can't.
This one, she went to another position. Both of these went to other positions in the county. They went to a teaching position at Cherry River and Nicholas County High School.
Oh, okay, good, good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions on the personnel agenda? If not, do we have a motion to accept the personnel agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Moose makes a motion, seconded by? Mr. Green, seconds. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Reports. SESC, Mr. Ferguson.
Nothing to report at this time.
Okay. Did you have anything? Thank you. Bright Horizons, Mr. Green.
Meeting on Thursday.
Meeting on Thursday. Items for future agendas.
permission to post and fill through October for Mrs. Whitesell. So we can get all these jobs filled before the October 1 deadline.
So you want that on the next agenda?
I can hear you.
Permission to post and fill through October for Mrs. Whitesell.
The first board meeting in October, whatever date that is, that may be the whole month.
Mr. President, do we formally need to put on an agenda approval for the superintendent to sign the contracts and user agreements? That's something we formally.
Probably.
Yeah, when we put that policy on public comment, we include the other comments.
Okay.
Yeah,
So at some point.
Not yet. Anything else, items for future agendas, anybody? Okay, future meeting dates, regular meeting Monday, July 1st, 2024, and that's here at the board office, and we've changed all of our starting times to 5 o'clock. Note that change, please, 5 o'clock. Regular meeting Monday, July 15th, 5 o'clock here at the board office. Monday, August 5th, here at the board office, 5 o'clock. And Monday, August 19th, 5 o'clock here at the board office. We have a motion to adjourn. Mr. Green makes a motion to adjourn, seconded by
So,
Mr. Berry, seconds. All in favor? Aye. At 7:04.